Okay, it's 7 o'clock. I'd like to call the meeting to order. Please rise for the pledge. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, no need for roll call. Everybody's present. Old business, approval of minutes. The regular meeting minutes of January 15, 2026 were provided for review. So I need a motion to approve the regular meeting minutes of January 15, 2026 as presented.
So moved.
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Call the roll.
Mr. Gardner,
Yes.
Mr. Kirby,
Yes.
Mr. Kowalski,
Yes.
Mr. Garvey,
Yes.
Mr. Robinson,
Yes.
Mr. Pierce,
Yes.
Mr. Brungard,
Yes.
Ms. Hatcher.
Yes.
Motion passed. Audience participation. Is there anyone in the audience who would like to address the council on an item that is not on the agenda? No takers. Okay, presentations. USD 469 bond election. Superintendent Kobza will update the city council on the upcoming bond election on March 3rd. I just want to let the audience know this is not an open hearing for the school bond issue. We've asked him to come and at least just let our council know what the bond issue is all about, just in case constituents start calling the council members, so they're fully aware. So we're not going to have open questions for Mr. Kobza, so we're just getting an update brief. So please, Marty.
Thank you. I'd like to thank the council for taking some time tonight to allow us to come talk to you and to give you some information. We have a great relationship with the city and Tim, and we appreciate that. I know between the two entities, we do the best we can to serve the community as well as we can. And we know what we do impacts you, and sometimes what you do impacts us. And so we always want to make sure those are as positive as they can be. So that's what I'm going to try to fill you in on tonight a bit. So what we're really talking about with our bond issue, and you'll see it up there, is preserving the past and rebuilding the future. This bond issue does not include any new buildings. This is taking care of the existing facilities that we have and a few other enhancements at the high school and even potentially a little bit of renovation. So how did we get here? What did we do? Where are we at? So in the planning process, we had a complete facilities assessment that was done to all of our facilities, all of our infrastructure. That's electronics, that's everything from roofs to our windows to all of the structures that you would think about in infrastructure within schools. We had a company coming out of Wichita when I first came on the board. Pete was on the board at that time, called DCS, who came in and did this. I'm going to refer you to this over and over and over again tonight, and it's on our website. And at the end, you'll see a QR code, and I'd really encourage you to do that. And I'd really encourage members of the public to do that as well, because I can talk and I can give my angle, but at the same time, all the information you need, thousands of pages, is on that website. You can see every study we've had done, every demographic study we've had, capacity study, condition of buildings, so on and so forth. If you are one of those people who likes to dig in, please do so. We did financial modeling through Raymond James, which is a financial advisor and has been a long-time bond advisor for the district. We have staff input as well and did an operational review from our staff. Do the buildings function the way that they need to? What is it that we could do better? We did a randomized community phone survey, and without going too much into that, 300 members of the community were surveyed last December. And from that was extrapolated data. If you want to know the statistical analysis to extrapolate that data, go to our website. You will find the complete survey with all the questions, all the answers, and the entire information that's there. So what we found from that survey was there was strong support for maintaining our existing facilities, not building a new early childhood center, not shifting grade levels around like we had talked about at one time, but the community felt very strongly about continuing with what we had. There was an emphasis on safety and security, as you can imagine, with what we have to think about in schools today versus when people like me, with some gray, used to go to school. And so We have to be very conscientious about that. One of our strongest areas of support was for career and technical education. Lansing High School has done a tremendous job of supporting post-secondary, four-year college-bound students over the years. Our test scores are above average in the state. Our ACT scores are above average. We were recognized for our AP scores last year as well. Our students perform very well academically. We have a segment of our student population we miss. We have a partnership with Pioneer Career Center, Kansas City, Kansas Community College. We have a limited number of spots for our kids to go into. So for example, we have 9 students who are in the CNA program. We have over 40 students who are interested. So only 9 get to go. So looking at expanding some of those programs is really important. And as a city, developing that workforce, I'm assuming, is very important to you as well, in addition to construction science and some of those other areas that if you come, or if the people want to come and ask us questions, hear the full presentation. Now, this presentation takes about an hour in its entirety. I'm not doing that to you tonight. I've been given a time limit, so I'm going to stick to that. So with that, on the 17th of the month, we're going to have a public presentation at the library, and on the 23rd, there will be one at the district auditorium. That'll be the full presentation. So bring snacks and your questions.
Mark,
yes.
what's the date on that?
The 17th of February and the 23rd. Sharon, the times on those? 6 o'clock on both of
The
those.
17th is at the library. Where's the other one?
District auditorium at the middle school on the 23rd. Oh, excuse me, high school. High school. That's why Sharon is here. She keeps me out of trouble, keeps me straight. So encourage you to be at those. If you have questions or concerns, we're happy to have that conversation with people then. And there was a desire for responsible financial planning. Questions were asked about tax tolerance. What about $100? Community support was about 48%, $100 per year on a medium price home. What about 50? That percentage went up to 54% of those surveyed said they would support up to $50 a year on a home. And then what about 0? 56% said they would support something that did 0. So here's really where we're at, is that maintenance is our core focus. As you know, with your home, your roof reaches a certain age, you're either going to put a new layer over top of it, or you're going to have to replace it. Same with HVAC, and that's if you're lucky enough not to have a hailstorm come through in Kansas and wipe it out, and then insurance helps you pay for it. But that's where we're at. HVAC systems are the same way. The high school is not included in that. We're not looking at a new roof at the high school, nor new HVAC systems at the high school. We're looking at it or other buildings, and those systems are original to the system. So if you go to the facilities assessment as well, you will find in that facilities assessment pictures of all of this as well. In addition, you will find an infrared study of the roof showing where we have moisture in the insulation between the membrane of the roof and the decking that is there. You can look at that. You can cross-reference that with the photos as well. Deferred maintenance costs, we know, increase over time, and they just continue to become more and more of an issue. And annual budgets alone cannot do this. We're asked, why don't we cut our way out of it? Roofs alone within this are $6 million. And that's doing some 20-year warranty overlays, not complete tear-offs and redos. With that, if we cut $6 million out, we run between 83 and 85% of our budget for salary and benefits for all employees. So when we look at that and we said, okay, what would that equate to if we cut $6 million out of the budget? $6 million for us, a teacher costs, when we add in their benefits and all the other associated costs for employees, is about $70,000. You do the math, that's about 85 that would need to be cut if we were just looking at that staff. Administration, I know, is always a hot point of discussion. We could cut all of our administrators. That would be $1.4 million. So we wouldn't quite get to that 6 if we did that. So what are we going to do to ensure that we get the most out of this should the public decide to pass this bond issue? How do we make sure that we're not here in 10 years because we haven't taken care of it? We have a preventive maintenance program that operates through AI as well. We can scan in any piece of equipment that has a serial number and a barcode on it, and it will give us a preventative maintenance plan for that piece of equipment. Our existing stuff we have scanned in there right now. Anything new would be the same way. We'd have planned replacement cycles for HVAC, roofing, parking lots, and technology. This is my third year in the district. So we are starting where we're starting, and we are going to do the best that we can to prolong the life of any of those pieces of equipment that come in. Parking lots. As you know, with the city streets, they should be crack sealed annually, and you're going to have them on a cycle in order to recoat, resurface them, repaint them as well. And we would engage with that. We have a roofing contractor that comes out and does maintenance on our roofs twice a year. That means parapet walls, seams, making sure that they're sealed. Any penetrations in the roofs get resealed or checked for any cracks or any potential leaks coming from those areas. Our problem with the roofs is that they have deteriorated from being in the sun for many years. We patch a hole and we find a new one. We patch a hole, we find a new one. And it's going to be that way until a new surface is put on. And then we do our improved tracking as well through our system, preventative maintenance system, to do that. So how is the bond structured? The bond's structured with two questions. Question one, which is primarily an infrastructure question with the exception of the middle school track and the tennis courts. And the reason those two are on there, if you have a chance to follow our website, I'd really encourage you to look at what was posted today about why. Why are those two things on there? So if both questions were approved, question one, which is primarily infrastructure, question two, which is turf improvements at the high school to fields. Our total bond and interest would go from 15, or just below 15 to 15.7 mils. What does that look like? On a $400,000 home at current assessed value, that is $34.32 per year, or $2.86 per month. As you know, sitting on the city council, taxes are a math problem. They are your mill rate times your assessed value. If your assessed value goes up and your mill rate stays the same, your taxes are going up. If your assessed value goes down and the mill rate stays the same, your taxes go down. With current assessed value, if question one passes and question two does not pass, it is a zero mill rate increase. And so I think that's important to keep in consideration. In addition, question two is contingent upon question one passing. If the infrastructure package at $30 million passes and the turf fails, the infrastructure package moves forward. If the infrastructure package at $30 million fails, but the $5 million for the turf improvements at the high school passes, neither one pass. That's the way it's written. So what happens if this does? What's our cost for modernization? Why would we do this? Why are we thinking about it? In addition to the immediate needs that we have to those facilities, we also have an opportunity to save some money within our operational budget that we can put toward other projects. The $30 million will not cover the preventative maintenance we need. It gives us an opportunity to save some money from our operational fund to put toward the other projects that haven't been prioritized as highly. LED lighting, we're looking at about $125,000 savings per year by converting to LED lighting in our district. Modern HVAC, fewer emergency repairs and improve efficiency. Our maintenance and repairs on our HVAC systems and our roofs in the last 18 months has been $433,000 that we have spent on maintenance and repairs for roofs and HVAC out of our operational fund. And sometimes people get confused. Bond is separate from operational fund. It's not included. Those two don't mix, nor can they mix by law. Upgraded roofing, obviously, goes along with modernized HVAC. And then here's one, and you may have experienced this at the city. I'm sorry I haven't followed it close enough. But property casualty and insurance premiums have gone up significantly. But in our case, our insurance carrier came to us and said, because of the conditions of your roof, your premium is going to go up $450,000 per year. And your deductible is going to go up to 5% of your building value. on each building. So if the high school, if it's valued at $80 million, 5% of that would have been the deductible. So, as you do in your own lives, you went out and you shop, and you shop, and you shop. But not many people want to pick you up when we have the conditions we are. So we joined the Kansas Association of School Boards Consortium. It's called KICS. We were able to secure insurance through that. Our premium went up $350,000 per year, and our deductibles are $150,000 per building per roof. So that means we need to have that cash on hand or in reserve should we have a wind or hailstorm come through that, I guess, renders our roofs irreparable. So that puts a strain on budget.
Question.
Yes.
Well, will the insurance carrier adjust the rates if you do all the work?
Yes.
Okay.
Will it be $350,000? Probably not. Could we see a $250,000 savings? Yes. Could we then go back out to the market as well and more carriers will be willing to carry us? Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
You betcha. And the other part is our deductibles would come back down. We'd probably see more in the $50,000 neighborhood per roof. So, what are our essential needs? Again, when we talk about question 1, you'll see it there. I don't want to take all your time because I know you all are going to go to that website and you are going to dig into this really deeply, spend a few days doing it. Question 2, athletic facilities and field improvements. Turf conversion, Lansing soccer, Lansing baseball, softball, and the band practice field where we have the most of our kids at 150, the most that are out there. If you have a child in band and they go out and they march in the morning and they take care of that, you'll understand why. One of the unique things that this gives us the ability to do, we have the Crushers that started up again, a youth football team that used our football field at the high school for some games. I know they're going to start 5th and 6th grade again next year. We have soccer, who wants to use it all the time. We have others that are asking to use Legion baseball, for instance, for our baseball field. And we have softball teams that do as well. Gives us an opportunity to host some tournaments, even rent some out over the course of the summer, but to partner with the city to make some more facilities available. What about financially? Isn't that a dumb move? Turf pays for itself in 6 to 8 years. That's in the form of chemicals, manpower, mowing, painting, all the things that go into the grass. 6 to 8 years is the payout. The high school turf has been in since 2015. We had it assessed. My first year when I came in the district, they tested the strand fibers and said we had 3 to 5 years left. So if you think about it as your car got paid off after 4 years, and you're continuing to drive it with no car payment on that, which returns some back into our piece. Again, this is a $5 million bond question, and there are 2 questions. Person can vote yes on one, no on another, yes on both, no on both. So what if the bond does not pass? What we know is that construction costs continue to go up. One thing that we're concerned about as we look into the future is 13 miles from here, I heard that there's a football team possibly moving in with some ancillary facilities that might eat up our construction trades for a while and might help to drive some of those prices up. But you'll see the construction trust trends that we've seen in the last 3 years. We did not include COVID because that's not fair. COVID was an anomaly. Those things went up way too much. We looked at our reactive repairs again. I told you how much we're spending there. We looked at alternative finance as well in the form of an ESCO. An ESCO is an energy savings contract. That energy savings contract, if we did it for 10 years for roofs and LED lighting, would be $8.3 million. We'd pay about $2.4 million in interest, and we'd have to find $1 million in our operational fund to make that payment for 10 years. So we also looked at it, as the car salesman said, you can pay us 48 months. Oh, that doesn't fit your budget, so let's stretch that out to 72. So we looked at it as a 20-year option. That 20-year option is about $600,000 and change. And if we take $125,000 savings that we would have from LED lighting and apply that toward it, we're just north of $500,000 that we would pay for 20 years out of our budget. And we'd pay about $5.3 million in interest. Our key here is we want transparency and communication, and I would really encourage you, if you haven't been to the website, snap that QR code with your cell phone right now, and it'll take you to everything you ever wanted to know about this bond issue, including the RSP study. Do I have a little bit of time yet? Okay. So the RSP study, and some people have asked this question, and they asked me specifically in relation to the city. I had this question this morning at a presentation I was doing. They said, so if the city's putting in all these houses and allowing all these houses to go in, isn't that going to negatively impact the district in the form of capacity? The answer to that question is we have capacity. Look at the study that was done by RSP. It's a very lengthy study. They looked at how many students we get per residence. They looked at functional capacity of our building. Considering the special programs we have with special education and everything else, they didn't just take the square footage of a building and divide it up. It takes this many square feet per student. They looked at it and they said, what actually is available? Within our existing facilities, if we're able to preserve them and keep them going, we have capacity for another 650 students. We also have students who are from out of district. Those students would continue with us, but if we continue to see a lot of growth in the form of housing coming into the city, we have the ability to say we're not going to take those students from out of district anymore. We're going to save it for our students so that we utilize the capacity that we have. To give you an example, the average number of students that come from a residence, that's apartment, trailer home, single family home, in our district is 0.48. So if you put 1,000 homes into Lansing, we would say that's about 500 students. And we have a capacity currently of about 650 that we could grow. So when you take that into consideration, the question of, so if the city encourages or you guys encourage development within the city and somebody comes in and there's 1,000 homes put in, does that mean you're going to be coming back and asking for a new building? Don't know that I'll be here at that time. But what I can tell you is that you've heard it. It's on the website. There's 650 student capacity, not including the out-of-district students. So, again, we just encourage people to vote. Look at the information. If it makes sense, vote yes. If it doesn't make sense, vote no. And dig into that as deeply as you can, please, and just be as well-informed as people can be. And I'm happy to answer any questions any of you may have.
Anybody got questions?
Towards the end of my tour on the school board, we were talking about having a survey that was going to go out to the community and find out what their input would be on a potential bond. Can you tell us what that survey said?
Yeah, I'm going to go back a little bit here, if you don't mind. So we did a survey with the company, and so on the right-hand side, this were the major themes that came out of that. So with those major themes, and it's on that website, you can see every question they asked. It was really encouraging because when they were asked, you know, how do you think that the school's doing, all those things, we ranked very high. Around the 80% were really favorable. But when we got to the specific bond questions, and we were asking questions like, what do you think about moving the early childhood into the elementary school and closing that building? And they were not in favor of that at all. That was a very low-ranked item. What do you think about athletic facility enhancements? Wasn't real strong, which is why the board separated it out as a separate question from the other bond issue. But they wanted to maintain existing facilities, safety, security. Career and tech ed was really high. People wanted to see us have more career and tech ed opportunities for our kids than what we have. And then that tax tolerance. I wanted to see, how do you feel about that? And that's where we got the 48 for 100 a year, and it was median priced home. And it was 50 was 54%, 0 was 56%.
So your interpretation is that our city, the people of Lansing, are in favor of a bond, based on what you just said.
Well, no, March 3rd is what I would tell you. I think it was, as we looked at it as a school district, in order for us to get the repairs and the systems done that we needed, our best bet and our most responsible way to spend the taxpayers' dollars was to go through a bond. And we also looked at how do people feel about the tax piece. Is 54% overwhelming? No. Is 56% overwhelming at 0? No. But it's north of 50. And so it was worth a shot to put out there and be able to tell people this is why. This is why we're considering.
I have one other question. Why are we doing the bond not during a normal election period? Why are we doing a special vote in March?
The state changed the law. There are 3 times that you can do a bond issue. One is during the primaries, one is during the regular election, and one is the date in March. And considering the condition of our roofs, the condition of our boiler, particularly at the elementary school right now, and some of those others, we felt like the sooner the better.
Thank you.
When the DCS assessed all the buildings, did they do the high school roof too?
They did.
Okay.
They went and did it. And the high school roof, again, my history is 2.5 years. When I came in, we had some areas that were leaking in the high school on the roof along some parapet walls and along some other things. And then we had brought our roofing contractor in to do the preventative maintenance twice a year, and they've stopped those leaks. And so they looked at it, and the high school roof has many years left in it.
When you do your program, is that going to be
Yes.
part of it?
They'll continue to go because that's, if we have a 20-year warranty, we want that roof to last 30 or 35 if we do our preventative maintenance as well as we should.
If I remember right, they gave a grade, and the high school roof was like an A-.
An A-, yeah. That was the architect. So we had an assessment done, really detailed assessment done by DCS. That's what the pictures, the descriptions, and you'll see it color-coded. They'll have red means it needs to be done now. Yellow is you need to be making a plan to do this, and green means you're good.
I saw that report and the way they
Yeah.
put the buildings and color coded them. I thought, really, for me, kind of brought it home.
And with the pictures and the descriptions, that's helpful. And again, as people decide whether or not we're giving them the full story, I think that helps to paint the picture.
Now, when you do, if this goes through and you do all the modernization and you're saving money on LED, is there a way to track that so that people know that
Yes,
indeed this did happen?
absolutely. And I think the things that we're talking about here are really the things that we do need to track, both in the form of, does that allow us to look at teacher salaries, employee salaries a little bit? Possibly. That frees it up for that. But does it also give us some operational funds that we can dedicate towards some of these yellow projects? And I say yellow based upon that facility study that we can begin to chip away at in addition to whatever gets done in the bond.
When you talk about 85 job loss, is that all teachers, or is that kind of across the board, or?
I'm putting that as a comparison, Gene.
Sure.
So if you were faced with that in the $6 million piece, you're going to look at a lot of different things. Okay. You're going to probably take a chunk from everywhere that you can. But the equivalency of it is about 85 teaching positions, and that would be K through 12.
Well, and that will increase the student-to-teacher ratio.
Well, if you did that, you'd have to increase the student-to-teacher ratio. If you close down out-of-district enrollment, some of the things that you run into with that is then you got to cut programs because that compounds the situation. So you've cut to pay for the roof out of that. Then in addition to that, you're going to lose the funding for those students. And so that's more money you're going to have to cut on top of that. So
That doesn't speak well for the district if we're forced to let teachers go. Mm-hmm. That doesn't speak well for the district as a whole. It wouldn't if I was a teacher and I had a choice between Lansing, who's letting teachers go, and somebody who's not.
Yeah,
I'm going the other way.
Well, I think it's important to understand a couple things is that we know that communities like Lansing and our military that returns and others that return, oftentimes it's quality of life, but it's also school systems. That's also where they can send their kids to school, as well as early childhood. So if you want young families moving into your communities, daycares are extremely important, and early childhood and preschool is extremely important, which is why we're trying to preserve that building. I know that we've heard about school taxes in Lansing and whether we're driving people out of their homes or not driving people out of our homes. You can verify this, but our school taxes as a whole are lower than Base or Linwood, lower than Tonganoxie, and lower than Piper. Leavenworth is lower than ours, and Easton is lower than ours. So I think just in a comparison, when we look at what's a like-minded school district to ours, we look at Piper, Baser, Tongi. And right now, our total assessment is lower than those three.
Anybody else got anything else for Marty?
Can't tell you how much I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Thank you for giving us a little bit of time tonight. And if you want the full spiel, like I said, bring snacks, come to the library, come to the high school auditorium. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Marty.
Thanks, Sharon.
Okay, new business. Update bank signature cards. Current signature cards on file with the Country Club Bank is incorrect due to the changes in the legislative body. 2 former council members will be removed from the signature cards and replaced with the following updated names: Anthony McNeil.
Yeah, that's me. That's supposed to be a secret.
I'm going Gene Kirby on that, but Jake Kowalski. You got to say it fast because I always mess it up. Tim Vandal and Beth Sanford and Tish Sims.
No, Elizabeth.
Elizabeth, what?
You're going to do me Lewis. You're going to do Elizabeth.
Okay. I didn't give you Lewis. I said Gene. See?
I know, but
All right.
this is the paper here.
All right. So I need a motion to update the Country Club blank signature cards to include the following individuals as authorized as signatories that I mentioned.
So moved.
So moved. Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion?
There was talk of this bank closing. Have we talked to them lately?
Yeah, I'll defer to Beth. They have not notified us that they are moving. Their location was, they mentioned it a year ago. We met with
Yeah.
them.
Because there was a buyout there. They changed their name.
They've changed their name,
They said they were going to close the Lansing bank because there's not enough business here and just keep
Correct.
the other banks open. Right.
but we have received no notice, and I spoke with them pretty recently, and there was no indication that it was closing. So we may be revisiting this again,
Yeah.
and,
We might need new signature cards, yeah. Okay. So I have a motion and a second. Call the roll.
Mr. Gardner,
Yes.
Mr. Kirby,
Yes.
Mr. Kowalski,
Yes.
Mr. Garvey,
Yes.
Mr. Robinson,
Yes.
Mr. Pierce,
Yes.
Mr. Brungard,
Yes.
Ms. Hatcher.
Yes.
Motion passed. Item number 4 is the library shelving improvement project. Lansing Community Library receives an annual $35,255 library development grant from the Northeast Kansas Library System. This project will increase shelving from 653 to 807 units, approximately 25% gain with the library's existing footprint. Professional installation by the vendor is recommended to ensure the shelving is assembled efficiently, correctly, in accordance with industry standards and safety. So the project will be supported by $35,255 per year grant funded by Nichols, and the remaining costs will be covered through the library's reserves, allowing the project to move forward without additional impact on the library budget. So I need a motion to approve the 2026 expenditure of $95,760.88 for the library shelving and direct city staff to process the payment.
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Terry, I know, is in here. Is in the audience.
With the information in the packet, is there any questions at all for me with
For the
this
packet.
What are we doing with
project?
the old shelves?
We're going to sell them.
Okay.
So there's about 130 shelves that need to find a new home. The tall ones will be $30 a piece, and they're nice, solid wood shelves.
They are nice.
The short shelves will be $25 a piece, and we'll be starting, depending on how this goes tonight, we'll start taking names for people who want to have those shelves.
Well, your packet was real
What's that?
nice with the pictures and all that. Yeah.
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 That was real good.
You won't be
Back to their-
piecemealing that. I really like that. You're doing this all at once, not
Yes.
buying a few at a time. And
It ended
Yeah.
up being more cost-effective with shipping and
Sure.
handling and installation to just do it all at once. And the company worked really well with us to make sure that everything was as smooth as absolutely possible.
And I read that they are putting it together, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
Well, they'll be contracting with somebody in the area to
Absolutely.
do it, yes. Any other?
Okay. Anybody else have any
Will
questions?
the
for
library
Terry?
be open through the duration of installation?
No.
Okay.
We will be shutting down for that time. That's why I'm hoping that the installation with someone who knows how to put them together more efficiently than my library staff and myself. I'm hoping less than 2 weeks to get that all done. We'll have to box up all the books, move the old shelves out of the way. They'll install the books, and then we'll put all the books back on the shelves. So, okay. Anything
Right.
else?
Any other questions?
No question, just a big thank you again for what you do over there, so.
Thank you. My staff makes it
And your
very
staff,
easy.
and your staff, yes.
thanks, Terry.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. Call a roll.
Mr. Gardner,
Yes.
Mr. Kirby,
Yes.
Mr. Kowalewski,
Yes.
Mr. Garvey,
Yes.
Mr. Robinson,
Yes.
Mr. Pierce,
Yes.
Mr. Brungard,
Yes.
Ms. Hatcher.
Yes.
Motion passed. Anything from department heads? Going once. Nothing. City attorney?
Nothing to report, Mayor.
Okay, thank you. City administrator, Tim, you got anything?
So I think a month or so ago, the council approved a drainage project in Sherwood Forest. Lion Weaver Construction is getting rolling on that, so we had our public works director take some pictures of the project that's going on. Some of you guys who have been on council a while probably remember hearing about this 12 to 15 years ago. In the past there were issues with easements, whether or not we were taking down trees and things like that. So it's nice to finally get this project rolling. So yeah, here's some photos of the area. The other thing too, for anyone who's watching or listening to this, this is kind of confined into a residential neighborhood. Probably 95% of our residents will never see this. But projects like this are incredibly expensive. I think it was it 70 or 70 something thousand dollars? Does that sound right? I think it was in the $70,000 range. It was a pipe that was 40 years old that was rusting out, and it was kind of creating a sinkhole in the person's yard. So again, when we're approving drainage projects, these are the types of things we're doing. I think there might be a few other pictures that we can scroll through.
There's a lot of money invested in this in the riprap, right?
Yes, so I think that might have even been an ad alternate, but we added extra riprap at the base of the creek to kind of slow down the water as it was coming out of the pipe, so to prevent erosion. So yeah, I mean, you guys can see it's a pretty significant pipe discharging right into the creek. I think maybe a couple more. Yeah, look how big those pipes are. They haul a lot of water. But again, Lion Weaver Construction doing a great job. They're getting rolling on it, and they're moving much faster than we were expecting. So appreciate that.
Tim, I think it'd be of note if most of you on the council know that was inherited. That was from the county approved project that then we inherited after we annexed that in. So in case anybody's watching, that was never a project that we had done. So we inherited it, and now we're getting it, I guess, taken care of finally after all these years.
Yeah, absolutely. That's correct. So, the chamber banquet. I think a few of you guys went last year, but the annual chamber banquet is Friday, February 20th at the 35th Infantry Division headquarters. I think social hour starts at 5 p.m. for that. So if anyone is interested in attending that, please let me or Josh know. I think when we've done it in the past, we've allowed spouses to go too because it's kind of a formal event. So please let me or Josh know if anyone wants to go to the chamber banquet on February The superintendent had spoken a little bit about insurance, and that's something that we've been dealing with a lot the last few years too, is insurance going up pretty significantly. The city contracts with Bucati companies to oversee our car insurance, liability insurance, property insurance, casualty, everything. So they're the ones who put it out to bid, they negotiate with the providers, they look at the deductibles, and so it came back.
Tim, who's the company? I'm sorry.
Bucati companies, they're out of Leawood, I think. But so I put in my report, last year our premium was $247,000. Travelers proposed an 18% increase. EMC, which is a different carrier, came in with a 9% increase, so at $270,000. Those were the only two companies that submitted a bid on it. Last year, we only had one bid for insurance, so thankfully we were able to get a second bid this year. So we notified them based on an apples-to-apples insurance carrier. We switched to EMC insurance for the 2026 year. It's, you know, again, similar to what the superintendent said, but I mean, it's kind of sad we're happy with a 9% increase. You know what I mean? But that's
be fewer and fewer companies that are even doing this kind of thing.
I was going to say, when I first started, there were 4 or 5 different companies that would do bids, and now there's really only 2 or 3. So it's been kind of a challenge, but anyway, we were thankful that EMC provided a bid, and it was a better bid than Travelers. So. And then I think there is an upcoming legislative update with our local legislators. I think that is February 23rd at 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. at the Lansing, the Activity Center, the gym? Okay. At the Lansing Activity Center. So there'll be a legislative update in a couple of weeks at the Activity Center. So, those were the main things I had, unless there's any questions.
Question for Tim? It's like no questions, so we will go around the horn, starting with Rebecca.
I have nothing.
Not Kevin. Rebecca.
Oh.
Yeah.
I do have something. Spectrum is experiencing like a timeout issue in our area, and they said it might take 4 weeks to fix. So if you're having internet issues, I'm sorry.
Which is why I never had Spectrum.
Okay.
There's no
Thanks,
cords
Rebecca.
for that kind of stuff.
Kevin.
Nothing.
Nothing. Gene.
I want to thank Marty for coming out. I know he's been busy spending a lot of his evenings doing these kind of events. And I want to be sure that everybody knows of our new assistant city clerk, Kimberly Dolce. Had me worried on that. Anyway, glad you're here.
Happy to be here.
We'll see how you feel in a couple of weeks. That's all I have.
Jake.
Yeah, I just appreciate Mr. Kobza coming out and giving us a presentation, and then appreciate the city staff that participates in snow removal. Another great job.
All right, thanks, Jake. Jesse.
I've got nothing, Mayor. Thank you.
All right, well, welcome back. Pete.
Yeah, I just want to mention that during the last election, we had, I think it was less than 17% of the people came out to vote. It's important that we get out there, make sure your voice is heard. No matter how you're going to vote, just make sure you vote. Get out there, get registered and do what it takes. It's one of our great American rights. And Kimberly, welcome to the team. I'm glad to have you. And yeah, that snow removal was something. They did a great job.
Yeah.
So thank you to the staff. That's all I have, sir.
All right, thanks. Pete. Chris.
Pete, you took the thing that I was going to say about the 16, I think it was 16% of the voters came out. Yeah, you know, early voting starts February 11th. March 3rd is the date. Get out and vote, or otherwise, that's all I got.
Vote or remain
Thanks,
silent.
Gary.
I really appreciate Marty coming out and sharing the information, and I really encourage you to attend one of the events that he really gets into the nitty-gritty. You'll get a much clearer picture, I think, and then there's an opportunity to ask questions. And Kimberly, welcome aboard. Tish, be nice this time, okay? And am I adjourning? Or is,
You would be the adjourn or.
okay. And I would like to make a motion that we adjourn.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to adjourn. Call the roll.
Mr. Gardner,
Yes.
Mr. Kirby,
Yes.
Mr. Kowalewski,
Yes.
Mr. Garvey,
Yes.
Mr. Robinson,
Yes.
Mr. Pierce,
Yes.
Mr. Brungard,
Yes.
Ms. Hatcher.
Yes.
Oh,
We are adjourned.
no in there?